Like, at what point? What does that mean? Living your truth. So I'm asking our esteemed panel. What does that mean?
Your truth will always be at the expense of someone else. There's no way around it.
Your truth will always be at the expense of someone else. That's what I heard you say.
If you really being authentic and living your truth, and you have no boundaries around that, then whatever you want to do, that's what you will do. Whatever you want to say, that's what you'll say.
Really?
I'm just living my truth.
Living your truth is boundaryless?
Yeah, I was going to ask that question because don't you live your truth every day? Aren't you always living your truth?
No,
you don't.
Not really. No. You have to have boundaries around it.
But that's living my truth. My truth is me living within my boundaries. That's living my truth.
No, that's adjustments that you have made in order to accommodate others.
So you saying living your truth means I can be any ass that I want to be. That's not living your truth. That's just you being an ass.
Living your truth is all about you.
Living your truth is all about you.
Yeah, living your truth, in my opinion, has nothing to do with anybody else because you're holding yourself accountable for your success, your failures, your joy, your happiness. So you're not. No one else is liable but you. No one else is accountable but you.
But don't you do that anyway?
No, we reserve our opinions because we don't want to upset somebody else. We don't want to hurt their feelings. We don't want to be offensive. So no, we don't live our truths.
So not having morals.
No, I have said this on this show. I have said this on this show before, but all that I could do, I don't do because it's going to have an impact on somebody else. So my truth will take me into directions that I shouldn't go. If I'm honest with myself, that which I want to do will have a negative impact on someone else, potentially.
Because you live your truth? I'm struggling with that.
Because it's almost you saying living your truth means living without boundaries.
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like he's saying. Like it does.
Living your truth is all about you. When we invite others into our lives, we start making adjustments that we wouldn't make if they were not there.
Living your truth, you don't seek outside validation.
That's right. That's right.
But why does my truth have to infringe upon others?
Because it's all about you. It's not about others.
I don't know if I'm struggling with
even
this.
Even as a businessman that wants to achieve the world, you have to put some boundaries on that. If you don't put boundaries on it, then you won't spend the quality time with those in your circle, whether it be your friend. Most very successful people have an imbalance of their friendships and their relationships because they're so focused on themselves, their success, which is why it's hard for them to get married and to even have true friends because they don't invest in that.
So everything we do is a living a lie?
No, I just don't believe. I don't believe in the term that we're talking about.
Okay,
I think the term we're saying doesn't fit.
So you're saying, in theory, what the world's definition of living your truth is living selfishly in front of people without consequence.
selfishly or self.
Well, you're saying it's about you. Yeah, you're saying it's about me. I really don't care what you think. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and it don't really matter how it affects you.
Don't you think that's where society has been moving towards, slowly but surely? Anytime a man come out and say, I'm a woman, when he has kids,
Okay, now I'm hearing it
living
different.
his truth.
I'm hearing it different. I'm hearing
How
your
it
definition
affected
different.
them.
Yeah. Okay, I got you. This is a fascinating.
Yeah,
thing.
you still gotta explain it to me, dude. I'm still
Well, because what he's saying is that's the world's definition of living your truth, and I don't know if I disagree with that, because even in the examples that we've given here today, Michael Jackson, everything Stephanie Mills might have said today could be true. Michael Jackson could be a guy who was so frustrated with his life that he found a pleasure and a joy just being around children because of their innocence and their desire to just exist. Now, that truth in his eyes is a selfish truth, because I'm going to go have kids over to my house and I'm going to spend the night with them, and I don't care what the consequences or the thoughts of that is. That is stupid as hell, because it's tone deaf. It's completely tone deaf of societal realities and the view of what people see when you got kids spending the night in your bed and all of that dumb stuff that he was doing. And by the way, I'm going to be honest with you, there's a part of me that kind of does believe that part of Michael Jackson, because he seems like that kind of ignorant. I don't see that. It just seems like that because of his background and his childhood and all the stupid stuff that he did as a kid. Well, not he did, but was done to him by Joe and all of that. I can see that. I can rationalize that. But I get what you're saying in the definition that there is an inherent selfishness that is devoid of consequence or even cares about consequence. In all of the examples that we're talking about, for Jaden Smith to say on a nationally syndicated radio show, my mom was asked to marry Tupac. And this is weeks after the baby, said, well, I wrote a letter in school asking Tupac to marry my mom. The fact that they even know Tupac, that they've connected even those dots, is ridiculous. But Jada would argue, I'm living my truth. Damn the consequences. Damn who it hurts. Damn how it hurts our family. Damn how we look in these streets. I'm living my truth.
So it's this. Okay.
I see that as a plus, because I don't see that as damn the consequences. I see that despite the perception, like Michael Jackson, despite the public perception of what's going on in these sleepovers, I'm going to live my truth. I am going to be in a happy place. I am going to be responsible for my own joy, for my own happiness.
Okay. Well, that's why I asked the question about boundaries. Is living your truth a boundaryless act where you say, whatever it takes for me to be happy and quote unquote free, that's what I'm willing to do?
Don't you feel that's where society is going? No boundaries. If you want to be a man today, you can be a man today. You want to be a woman tomorrow, you can be a woman tomorrow. If you want to be this, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to feel, I feel I'm this, I feel, whatever you believe, the society is moving towards, it's okay. That's your truth. No matter how big your dick is, you feel like you're a woman.
But see, I tend to think that someone living their truth responsibly in a mature manner does not allow or wishes that their truth is not intrusive on somebody else. I believe someone with arrogance says, damn who's affected by my truth. But I don't think, which may very well be the majority, but I think someone who's living their truth respectfully, because living your truth has a lot to do with respecting others.
That's kind of why I was asking. I mean, because again, I have boundaries. I have respect for others. So I'm living my truth because that's how I feel inside.
Well, my pastor preached about this.
What? This is how I feel inside.
So both things could be true. It's about the limits or the boundaries that you're setting on how you either you give a damn what people say, you don't give a damn what people say.
I was fascinated by the statement that Jada and her team released at the top of that Red Table Talk, because it said at some point we're going to discuss this at the table.
When we'll get our therapy is probably what that meant.
Well, it just to me, it reeked of tone deafness. Like it was just like, you still don't understand.
The fact that you're going to talk about it at the Red Table Talk is tone deaf.
It's tone deaf to me. Like, damn it, do you not understand? That's how we got here. You want to share everything. You want to put everything. But according to Jada, she's living her truth. I'm living my truth. By the way, I didn't watch the episode. All I did was capture that one little part, and I refuse. I'm all red tabled out. I can't take it no more. I'm done. I'm gonna have to get the clip notes from somebody else. I don't want to watch it.
And when did it come on?
I don't know. The other day it came out. I have a question for you guys in regards to what we're discussing here, because even the DJ Envy thing is fascinating to me. Because I'm just gonna be honest. This is my perception. I'm on the outside looking way in. I know they'll tell you we're trying to help somebody. We're trying to help somebody. You know, I don't know how telling the world that for 10 years your man's sex game is trash and you had to fake your orgasm, how does that help me? Like, Al, do you feel helped by that information?
No, but I can see how somebody can.
How? I don't
because he's not the only one out here blowing bubbles thinking they blowing backs out.
So, but does it help you because now you don't feel alone?
No, it helps you like, okay, maybe I need to be more in tune with my woman and we need to have this conversation. Hey, are you satisfied?
But is that how we're going to take it?
What?
Is that how we're going to take it societally?
Society ain't taking it that way.
Hey, hell, you know,
because if they would have written that in the headline of the article, I would have said, "Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting," and I would have approached this thought process differently. But the headline reads, "DJ Envy wife faked orgasms for 10 years." And again, they don't control how it's interpreted, or how the media will choose to, take the story. But I just, cuz, do you want your wife to put that information out on you?
That she faked orgasms?
For 10 years.
I mean, well, if it's her truth.
But did that need to be out in the public, though?
But here's the thing. What's the plus side to that?
That's what I've been trying to figure out.
And that's what I think they're trying to push is there's a plus side. We've been together for 21. So that means I've been putting it down for 11.
Okay, so he redeemed himself.
Possibly. I'm just saying. She faked it for 10 years, but damn it, we've been together for 21.
Or the other positive is they've been together for 21. Even through all that, they stayed
through all of that.
Listen, it says absolutely nothing about that man that she faked an orgasm for 10 years. There's a whole lot more about her. If you couldn't figure out how to bust a nut in 10 years, that's your fault. I got mine. You better get yours. You the fool. You been laying down for somebody. You ain't busting no nut.
Al, if you don't mind checking, I'm just out of pure curiosity of the timetable. When did he actually cheat on her? Was it early in the marriage? Was it halfway in the marriage? If you can find it. If you can't, I'm not gonna trip. But somewhere out there, I'm sure Wikipedia or somebody got it, where right around the timetable, if they've been married 20 years, where did he actually cheat on her? Because I'm gonna tell you the thing that popped in my head. It's just me. That's a hell of a get back.
And it also make people want to buy your book too, though. You can get some sales by saying you ain't had one in 10 years. People gonna want to read the book now.
But it's all but the way that they're tying it together is that they're tying it together centered around like some of the cheating that he did and all this other stuff. So it's like it.
Did you see the interview he did with I think it was Marlon Wayans when he did that interview?
What was the interview? I'm curious.
It was just they were just on the show talking to each other, and he's like, "Hey, I got a book," and he gave the book to him, and he was starting to read it. I forgot the name of the book. He's like, "Oh yeah, one thing you're gonna read in there." Well, hey, my wife said she didn't get an orgasm in 10 years, and he kind of looked at him and started laughing. So even the way he's promoting and selling it, he's promoting that to help sell that book.
But is he doing that because she's saying one of the things we're going to talk about publicly is this issue?
She could be, but why even? What's the point of talking about it?
Right at the midway.
Right at the midway.
They were married in 2001. She caught him cheating in 2012. So
he was practicing to learn how to do it better.
Right at the midway. Hell, maybe he was faking it for 10 years.
I was gonna say maybe
and he had to go out and get the real thing.
Woo. I am. This is a fascinating thing for me. It really is because Cuz said, "Don't you believe that society? This is where society is now. We are a society that is being told to live your truth, obey your thirst, whatever you feel, do, go for it. Whatever it is, be your authentic self." Is this authenticity? Because this don't feel like authenticity to me. It could be. I don't know. It could be. But it doesn't feel like it. Mama Noise, you've been quiet. What are your thoughts on some of this?
Okay. First of all, a lot of women, I can't speak for the men because generally when you guys have your orgasm, there's evidence. Right?
This is correct.
Okay. So with women, that's not always the case. And if you've not been taught properly, or if you've not been taught what it is you're feeling and what that is, and if you don't understand it, then a lot of women do end up having sex a lot, their whole life or their whole, from when they start, just doing exactly what I always reference, the color purple reference, when the girl said he just got on top of me and did his business. Well, she feels like she's done that part. She's received, she's allowed, and he's satisfied. And so he rolls over. So she's like, okay, I've done what I was supposed to do, but not knowing what it takes to get her own satisfaction. And so if you're not taught, or if you don't have a clear understanding of your body, then you just keep going through the motions of, I did my part, I opened my legs, I received him, and so we had sex, or made love and all that. But the truth is, you did not reach an orgasm. And so since you didn't reach orgasm, you're saying, oh, okay, well, that's not what I didn't know I was supposed to get one. Because for a long time, it just wasn't something that was talked about. It was always, as long as the man is satisfied, the woman being satisfied, oh, okay, well, she got her, rub here, squeeze there, this, that, but she didn't get, her climax. And so, but you have to understand what's going on with the body in order to get that. And so I just don't think it's not taught, especially culturally. Culturally, we don't go around teaching.
So you're saying this could be a situation of ignorance, like she just didn't know no better.
Situation of ignorance, And then when he gets together with her, if he ain't trying to see, are you being satisfied? And she probably was like, yeah, I did exactly what I was, what I understand sex is, which is just, receiving, just receiving the penis and that's what we do.
Semen. Say it. Semen.
You know what?
No, I'm not. You know what I'm talking about.
Today's not.
I'm saying that they just haven't the mechanics of sex and not understanding that she's supposed to get something out of it.
Can I offer another theory, just real quick? I'm asking questions. If let's say, you might be right, Mama Noise. You might be right, but let's say she knew, because the statement was she faked the orgasm. So it implies that she knew what an orgasm was and he didn't get her there. So I'm just throwing out a theory. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong or not. Doesn't that make her a liar?
Yeah, she right. Yeah, she a liar.
Now, in when I heard that part, I messaged Mr. Noise and said, I don't know how you can recover from that. I'm not saying you can't forgive somebody or whatever, but how does one just go out there and say, is this mic on? Hey, I haven't had an orgasm in 10 years. I mean, how does one do that and then say, okay, all is well with our marriage?
But you know what, though? He obviously didn't give a damn, because my wife can't fake no orgasm for 10 years. Come on now. I mean,
no, I'm with you on that.
You all know your wife's body enough to know what's going on, man.
Wait a minute, right there, cuz that's the part. Do you take the time to get to know your wife's body to be able to know the difference? If you just getting your rocks off, you roll over, put your thumb in your mouth and go to sleep, and you can care less about what she get, then that's what it is. But if you ain't concerned about her being satisfied as well, then you just like, I did what I'm supposed to do. I got what I need to get. And okay, that's not healthy.
Let me say this. And I just believe that science was very unfair to you guys from the get-go. I don't understand. Number one,
science ain't got to do with this. This is the Lord.
It's just real hard for you to have an orgasm, first of all. You got to be in the right mood, the right mind, and you got to touch the right spot, all of those bullshit.
Right.
It's hard for you to get an orgasm, first of all. But then after that, there's no scientific reason for you to have an orgasm.
No, it's just for pleasure.
Just for pleasure. There's a reason for the nut.
Well, yeah. It says, okay, you got your satisfaction. I need to get mine too.
But there's a purpose behind the satisfaction.
But okay, and I
don't need to get one.
Oh my goodness. But listen, I don't even know how to respond to what you just said. I may move past it.
That was fine.
Right. Here's the problem I'm having with the whole conversation, though. Why would you wait 10 years to tell him that? And why would you wait 10 years? Or why would you not ever ask for 10 years?
Maybe he knows.
So maybe the fake orgasms are the latter 10 years of their relationship after the cheating. Well, and she just really can't connect with him emotionally. They're connected in some way because they had 3 kids after the infidelity.
Right.
So you're right, because being able to connect emotionally after something like that, it just seems to be, it's like non-existent, because your mind is not connected to that person. All you keep seeing is there's been infidelity has been.
So it brings me to this question: why would I buy this book? Like, either way, whether if it's Al's scenario and this is just some payback ish, or if it's my scenario where she just lied and just told him she was getting it, but she really wasn't getting it. How does this help me? Like, I'm just trying to understand how.
But that's why you buy the book. You want to see what happens.
Is this a knock on him, or is it a confession of a woman's inability to have an orgasm.
It may just be a simple.
I could have a problem. Some women can't have orgasms. They just can't go. They can't get there. For whatever reason. So is this a confession or is this a knock on his ability?
And see, for me, I don't know if that part matters as much as
I think it does.
Well, let me say why I say that. I don't know if it matters as much to me because you wrote the book because you said it's real life and real love. You put it out there how to overcome the hard times and the this, that, and the other. And I don't understand. Like, how is I don't get it. I do not get it. I don't get what this is supposed to accomplish.
As
women do a lot of things.
The rub. Maybe you are not the intended audience.
I'm definitely not the intended audience.
Right.
Women do a lot of things for men to please men.
What?
Women do a lot of things to please men. Whether it's faking an orgasm, making those sounds just so you go and get yours, because you know the more noise they make, the more we feel like we're doing something. We're just about there.
Whose kitty is this, big cat?
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Albie.
You've kind of gotten fixated on this whole experience. There were like 4 stories that tied all this together, but this fine. We'll stay here.
Women do things to please men, whether it's buying lubrication. She can't get wet no more, so now we got to buy just to try to please. I mean, there are things that are done that she can't naturally do anymore for one reason or the other.
Okay, but I don't take issue with any of that. My issue is for whatever reasons, y'all let this go on for 10 years. Y'all let this go on for 10 years, and you called it truth.
Listen, I believe jokes are funny because they are oftentimes true. And what we have to do as a people, we got to start being so embarrassed about our truths and share more.
Okay, but that's a different.
I do believe that, Mama Noise, 100%. We hold on to shit so tight, and the reality is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 5 of us on here, especially the 4 guys, we have a lot of the same experiences, but we don't talk about it.
And not every experience I have, I'm going to talk about.
I don't talk about every experience, but we have to get away from so much embarrassment, because embarrassment holds you hostage.
Embarrassment also keeps you safe. Embarrassment almost keep your ass alive.
It can, but it also makes you feel as if something was wrong with you.
So then we need to give Jada a pass there, right? Because she's sharing all of her truths and all of her embarrassments and all of her.
I don't have a problem with the Smith family. They're working it out. If you could just get a microscope and not a microscope. That's the wrong one. What's that other scope that you're looking at people's houses? They're looking at telescope. You just get one of them damn scopes and look up at my house. You see some shit too.
But I don't want to see inside your house. I don't want to see inside their goddamn house.
A lot of what happens inside my house can actually help somebody else. That's the point.
I mean, it could, but what they're doing ain't helping somebody else.
Well, I mean, it might not help you because you got your shit together. But other folks,
that's why I don't watch her show. Again, that's probably why I don't watch that shit, because that's nothing I want to get from it. I don't want my house to burn down like hers right now.
But I will say that I think that it brings up an excellent conversation and question when women are ready to have that conversation. Because some of them are like, man, I've been doing this all this time, doing what I think is supposed to be done, or doing what he asked me to do, not even realizing I'm supposed to get something out of this. I've only been taught, do the business, or that's how you make babies, and not been taught that there's supposed to be a pleasure principle in this for the woman as well, not just solely on for the man's pleasure, like
No,
everything we see.
But so the new Renaissance woman is doing that. This woman everybody's mad at, this independent woman everybody's mad about. That's what they're doing. They're learning this. They're figuring out that it's not just about his pleasure, it's about their pleasure. And society is beating the shit out of these women.
Yeah.
But Mama Noise, don't you guys find pleasure in just the holding?
Now, listen, we want the foreplay. Don't misunderstand me. We want the foreplay. We want the cuddling. We want the holding hands. We want the spoon. We want all of that close. We want all that. However, we don't understand that once you get past that part, once you got all this arousal and stuff happening, you like, okay, what I'm supposed to do is give him what he needs so he can get to where he need to be, and then all is well. But not realizing, guess what? I'm all aroused with all this because there's something I need too.
Let it loose.
And how do I get there? What do I need to do to get it? How do I tell him it hasn't arrived? How do I say that without him saying, well, you just need to come on, bust it. Okay, well, you ain't doing it right. You ready for that? You ready for that it ain't that. Stop doing me like you did Rashonda. Stop doing me like you did her. I'm not her. You need to figure out what it takes to do it for me.
You know, we had this show on April 2nd, and the next was not for a couple more weeks, right?
Well, we on the eve. We on the unfiltered.
Living her truth.
We come into a relationship. You bring the sex from the last person, and you think that that's acceptable to the person you with because you're saying, well, it worked for Rashonda. It should work for who I'm with. Rashonda don't like this fast. She don't like you doing that hard. She don't like you grasping and grabbing. She don't like that. She like it this way. And until you learn what that is, you're never gonna get her to her. Oh,
somebody is
21 years to figure it out. It took them 21 years or 12 years.
But like you said, we don't talk about it. We don't discuss it because
the truth is they're not living their truth. Because if there's that much disconnect between what he's doing and what she's doing, something is vastly wrong. There's a communication issue. There's a connectivity issue. There's a lot of stuff that something is not quite right. Go ahead, Al. You've been trying to jump in there.
Maybe somebody's gonna hear this story or pick up that book and learn that, wow, we can have a successful marriage. We can build a successful life for us and our family with weak ass sex. Maybe somebody's gonna learn that that's not the foundation of a relationship. They have 5 beautiful kids, several properties.
Oh, they're doing quite well.
He's a real estate mogul.
Yes.
So I think Rashawn and Gia are doing something right. His sex might be weak, but he's doing something right.
But I
They're
think
doing something right.
It has to do with communication. It can't be just about the mechanics. Somebody has to talk about what you do like, what you don't like, and what.
And I think we've established that. But here's the other side of this conversation. Can he walk around New York City now as DJ Envy, the nigga with weak sex? And all the accolades that Al just gave.
Oh, that's so unfair.
But who's to say she didn't put this out there so that the next troll that got him the first time, like, oh, you know, that shit's
won't try him now.
Yeah, I don't want no part of that.
That could be part of this conversation. Because the point of it is there is consequences to living this loud. There are consequences. There are people that are never going to read this book. They're only going to run with that headline, and they may have the same conclusion as Al had. Next time he's in the club DJing, and he feeling himself, and he's like, "Hey, girl, what's going on? Please, nobody wants your weak ass sex game."
So there was a study done, and the study found that 46% of women reported that they have orgasms always or nearly always when having intercourse. 46% of women
Okay.
said that they have it always or nearly always. Only 6% of women said they always get theirs. Only 6% said they always get theirs.
You said 6?
6%.
So the other 48 undecided?
46.
You said 46.
Uh-huh.
Said 46 said what they did or they didn't, was left 54.
46 said it's hit or miss.
Then there was 54.
48 said that shit ain't happening. And 6 said, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna get mine."
So it goes back to Mama Noise theory. So over half the population has no clue.
They're not getting it. They're not getting it.
Okay, I guess, and this took a different turn than I was expecting, but this is interesting still. It's still interesting though. Okay, so that group that is not getting it. Let's stay there for a second. What is their problem?
Lack of knowledge.
They don't
That's
know
one.
themselves. Any woman, and let me say this, and I could be wrong, this four left shoes. You gentlemen, Mama Noise, you can correct me. But any woman that's totally dependent on a man for her orgasm, she's playing a fool's game. You ought to know how and make the moves necessary to get to where you want to go. If you know you got to be on top, then your ass need to be rolling on over to get on top. If you know you only get it when it's doggy style, you need to be backing your ass up to get it doggy style. What you can't be doing is wasting time in positions that don't get you to where you want to go.
But that's such a loaded statement. Because the reality is loaded, because the reality is for a woman to get to that kind of knowledge is only going to come one or two ways. Either she's going to experiment with several partners, or she has to create an honesty and a truthfulness with the one partner where he can understand exactly what that takes place with. Now, here's the challenge of that. The challenge is, and Mama Noise and I have seen it many, many times, folk don't want to talk about that. They don't want to have that conversation. They don't want that level of honesty in their marriage. Now, Al, thank you, Al, because now you got me wanting to read the book now. Because now I'm very curious, because how do you overcome that? Or not how do, and like I don't know, but how did they overcome that? Or did they overcome that? I don't know. But my point is, because Cuz is alluding like you should know. And the reality is, man, women don't know.
You don't.
They don't know. And they feel ashamed sometimes for not knowing.
You know, Mr.
But they also feel ashamed when they actually do it, because it's been so taboo.
I could buy that argument in 1979.
Oh, Lord.
I can't buy that argument in 2022.
Why not? It's the truth. You just said that. Hold on. You just quoted the statistics.
Kids know about sex way before we think they know about sex.
No, that's not true.
Kids don't know about sex.
Hold on. That's not true. Kids have access to the information about sex. But there's a big gulf between. No, that's not knowing. Just because you know where shit go, that don't mean you know what you're doing.
Oh, that's true. That is
absolutely. If you can diagram something and you know that the penis goes into a vagina, don't mean you know.
I didn't say they put it into practice.
Yeah, they know about it.
But cuz that's the point. Just because we all knew about it, but damn it, we didn't know when we first started. We didn't always know what we was doing.
Every child is taught how to put whatever circle in the block. You put the square in the square.
The moment you was on the bus and you did this, you knew about it. You knew that this meant something and this meant something. But that don't mean what does that mean? Nobody know what that means until you actually do it. Then you say, oh, that's what that means.
I don't believe in 2022 that women are walking around ignorant.
I think you are. I think you're ignorant for saying that.
Okay.
You just read the numbers.
Ignorant, not you don't understand.
No. I read the numbers of women that's not getting it, but there's a reason why they're not getting it, and I don't believe it's ignorance to sex.
What is it? What is the answer? What's the reason?
What the answer is? You have to stop relying on somebody else to get you there.
Oh,
I don't think it's that simple. I don't
believe that it's the man's package that's gonna get me there. You really walking around believing that because he got a big dick, he gonna get you there. Everything. That's not the truth.
Because that's you on the backside of years of understanding saying that. These women who some aren't doing it or some have done it and got it wrong, they don't know that. Because guess what? You want truth, you want to live a truth, let's live a truth. Parents ain't talking to their kids about sex. They're not breaking it all down and saying, here's how this goes, here's how it works, here's what you're gonna feel.
How much breaking down you gonna do?
Do you want to drive the car or not?
You can't break it down.
You want to drive it safely or not?
You can't break it down that far.
You gotta break it down enough for them to know what they're doing.
At what age?
I don't know. That's a good question.
All right, that's too much. That's too much.
Okay, but give a book or something.
No, they're gonna do just like my mama did. Go on down there with them white people at Planned Parenthood. They'll tell you what to do.
You better do it.
We're not gonna glance over Mama Noise saying put the square circle in the block.
Yeah, we left it alone, Stephon. We left it alone.
Saying, when kids are toddlers, they got the little block that has all the different shapes all around it, and you got to find the right one to go inside.
Yeah.
Too many women are ignorant to what it will take to get them there. Now, I agree with that. Too many women are ignorant to that because they believe that it's really their partner responsibility to get you there.
But can I say something to that?
It's not.
Hold on. Can I say something to that?
Uh-huh.
It kind of is, though.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it kind of is. Because if you're in a committed relationship,
it's a partnership. It's a partnership.
It is a partnership, and y'all are supposed to work together in this partnership.
Right. But many women will lay there and expect for you to get them there, and they don't know what it takes to get themselves there.
But that's the point. So we're kind of saying the same thing, just coming at it from two different angles. We got to talk and communicate and work through some stuff in order to get there. Yeah. So. Okay, so that's the micro version. We have beat this micro version to death. Let's broaden this out. So is the real thing that we're saying people don't really know how to live their truth correctly?
Some people
do not live it correctly.
What?
Yeah, some people are living their truth without being intrusive on others.
I'm not living my truth.
Why you say that, cuz?
It's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie.
You're not living your truth.
I make sacrifices and hold back on a whole lot because that which I could do, I don't do because I know it's going to have an impact on somebody else.
So, but again, why would that not be
every man alive? Every man alive that's straight, and I believe the gay ones are too. But anyway, that's another story.
Believe they straight?
Every man alive has dog in him. Every man alive has dog, roof in him.
But that doesn't mean I'm not living. That doesn't mean they're not living their truth. We just literally say it.
You have to control that dog, not for your benefit, but for somebody else's benefit.
Right, but we just said living your truth could be both. People who live with boundaries are living their truth just as well as people without boundaries are living.
Because I don't understand. That's the part I'm struggling with this conversation with you.
Because we can't say you live in a fake reality just because you have morals. That's upstanding.
Why I don't believe in the term, Ron. That's why I don't believe in the term. That's why I think the term is trash.
Okay. That's different than if people really living the truth or not living the truth.
My truth, my truth. What the fuck are you talking about? Your truth. I'm sorry, Mama Noise.
And just like you said, your ass is living your damn truth. Why y'all about what the fuck you were talking about?
My existence on this earth, I promise to God, is for other people.
Well, I need a couple $100,000. Can you help me
my
out?
daughter. That's my purpose. I don't need my truth. I don't believe in it.
Al, do you believe in it? Living your truth?
Absolutely.
Tell us why. I'm curious.
What do you mean? Tell you why?
Like, what is that?
Because I believe that a man should only base his internal happiness, his own experiences. He shouldn't be urged or manipulated by external people and causes. I think that is essential to living your truth. Being solely responsible for your own happiness. Yes, you can be responsible for other people's as well. So you can live your truth and still sacrifice for others.
Yep.
There's
That's not your truth, though. I don't think that's
absolutely. Well, sure it is. Your truth could be a spirit of sacrifice.
Your truth.
Yeah, we see that generally doesn't work out with those.
It works for you
and those priests. That generally doesn't work out very well.
But so you're telling me you're not living your truth with the sacrifices that you're making for your family? That's not living your truth?
Well, once again, I don't believe in the term.
Okay, but let's change the term. Okay. Could living your truth be, I am born to make sacrifices, I am born to do things for these women in my life, I am born to be a blessing to others? Could that be a better definition of
if you're going to broaden it out that far, that's fine.
Okay.
But at some point you have to narrow it down. What is my truth? Who am I? What is it that moves me? Many of us ignore those truths until it's too late. And now we're caught up because we never really addressed who we were.
Unfortunately, we are. It's a syntax thing. You're living your truth. Regardless, if doing for others, sacrificing for your spouse and your offspring, but that's still living your truth. It's what makes you happy, right? You're doing
well,
what
let me
you identified as your purpose, right?
Let me say this right here. To address your question, because I know where you're from and I know where Mr. Noise is from. Mama Noise and Ron, they lost calls. But anyway, there was a song back in the day say, I've had some good days.
Oh, Lord.
I've had some hills to climb. My good days outweigh my bad days, but I won't complain. The reality is, life to me on this side sucks. Now that's my truth.
So nigga, you living your truth.
I got some good days, I got some bad days. Right now I'm having a bad day. Vertigo been kicking my ass all day. But the reality is, we all go through that. So living my truth, I just disagree with the catchphrase. It seems to be hot right now. And
it's very hot.
I don't accept it.
Woo.
Because it's problematic.
So if I were to say, Mr. J. Joyner, are you being your authentic self? Do you accept that?
Or Mr. J, are you being who you were meant to be?
I think I understand.
Now, Ron, I like that. Now, I'm doing my best. Let me say that. I'm doing my best to be who I was meant to be.
I think I understand what Jay is trying to say, because the reality is many of us use the statement, I'm living my truth, to justify dumb shit that we want to do,
Well,
or to justify our wanting to walk a path without the consequences of what should happen in what we originally deemed would be normal society.
don't judge me.
Right. So if I want to have a polyamorous relationship, that's my truth.
To some, living their truth simply means that they can't be questioned by others.
That they can't be questioned by others. And I'm gonna tell you something. I think that's my struggle with the red table, because it feels like you want to put this out there in a way to where the rest of us don't have a say so in what it is. And that seems egregious to me, because I'm supposed to just get on board with this because that's what you said it is. That's the whole reason. That's the whole trend. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm not a big fan of Ron DeSantis. I think the dude is probably a racist. But I don't disagree with what he says about the transgender sports thing. I don't. I think what you are born with. Listen, if transgender children want to compete in sports, that is quite all right. Compete in the sport that you were born in, or let's legislate a whole different category called I don't know what I am, and let that group compete against themselves. That's now. Am I racist? Am I right? You understand what I'm saying? But it feels like you are. Adidas said, put a commercial out. They're running this commercial right now about transgender, and it's the transgender. We gotta support. Well, I can support them and not support them competing against outside of their assigned gender.
Well, let me ask a question. Would it be fair to say it's no different than when there used to be only black or white race? You've had to add other races.
That's a
What was
great
your question again, Mama Noise? I didn't quite get it.
Is adding transgender the equivalent of expounding on races and saying it's not just black or white, but it's black, Hispanic.
For the longest, my nieces were not, because they are biracial. Trying to get them to check one box, it didn't make sense. They are biracial. So then they created another block and said biracial. They created the Indian block. They created all these other races so that everybody could be clear that there was a choice for them.
Woo, Mama Noise, you just ushered in a part of the conversation that is wow. So are you saying that the fair thing to do would be to account for this choice and allow for there to be another, to use your words, another box to check, so that group of people who don't have a confidence one way or the other, they get to check that box, and then society needs to accommodate them accordingly?
But I think it's more difficult than that, because the issue is they have a box. I was born a male, but my box is female. So they have a box. So it is now it has to be legislated. No, you cannot check that box.
But if they're identifying themselves as a transgender, that means they're not trying, that's what they want to be labeled as. Not the girl, the boy, but transgender.
I don't think that's it. I don't think the identification tag has been applied to them as transgender. but they identify as female.
But you're saying, Mama,
They don't
Noise,
identify as transgender. They identify as female
right?
or
But
male, vice versa, whatever the
right.
case may be.
But what you're saying, Mama Noise, is maybe they need that box, and societally we need to say, if you feel this way, if you feel like you're a male but you're born a female, then your new box is this one, regardless of whether you feel that way or not. The rest of us, because see, my pastor preached something and he made a statement, and I think this statement is profound. He said, whatever box, whatever you identify is, that's your business. But to what degree am I supposed to participate in what you feel?
Do you realize how unsuccessful that's going to be? Let's apply it to your own situation. You want to check the box Jamaican. Well, sir, you were born in America. We don't care where your parents originated from. You were born in America. So that Jamaican box does not apply to you. Next.
Keep it moving.
Well,
B, why you gotta fire shots like that, LB?
No, I'm just saying how easy or how unsuccessful that's probably going to be.
Well, but what I discovered is I did some research on it. I knew it already, but I went to research it again just to be sure of what I said. Is that the bottom line is that they said in America, whatever race your mama is the race you are. So even though if Lloyd's mama would have been West Indian, that's the category, because Jamaican is not one of the options, it's West Indian, then they would say Lloyd is West Indian. But because Lloyd's mama is African American, they say Lloyd is African American.
I don't want to confuse the point, because that's not really the point.
I'm just saying in that regard.
I got you. I want to read what Twitter said, because I think it's powerful. Twitter said, my problem with the red table, and I'm going to expand the statement out to what we're discussing. He said, this is the equivalent of a crooked person trying to tell me how to draw a straight line.
Preachers do it all the time.
Hold on. If I would have said that, y'all have came down on me.
I got it.
The other Negro said, we all fine.
But I get what they're saying, and what you're saying, cuz, is that because here's the problem with the whole transgender thing. We're saying, oh man, I'm about to get myself in a lot of trouble. We're essentially saying a confused should tell the rest of society how we should now think.
Confused?
They've been doing it for how long?
Well, the issue is we don't want males that were born males competing with girls that were born girls,
right,
in the same sport, because of the strength of the guy, the ability, the muscle. We don't want these men that are biologically men competing with girls. So even if you created a different category, in essence, what you're going to be doing is creating a category where cross-dressing males will not be competing, because you're only going to have the strongest boys competing against the strongest boys. And the girls are going to be competing against girls. They're just going to look like boys. What's the point?
They now get to live in their truth.
It doesn't make sense to do that, because boys are still competing against boys. Well, boys were competing against boys over here too.
But now they get to live in their truth. Now they get to dress up like women and still compete and have the same experiences, human experiences, as they would say, as everybody else.
Doesn't make sense.
Having their own division solves a lot of problems when it comes to sports. That own division allow them to participate as their gender against their gender, whatever they identify with. If a female identifies as a male and she's playing against other males in that same division,